Good morning, cadets. So, in the last class, we discussed about how a criminal investigation is undertaken initially in the police station, later in the court. In this particular topic, we studied about the role of police in the system, public prosecutor, defense lawyer, and the judge. Police play a role of writing an FIR, conducting initial investigation, arresting the accused, writing charge sheet and producing before the court of law. Public prosecutor work on behalf of government to defend the case. Defense lawyer, responsibility of defense lawyer to defend the case on behalf of accused. Judge plays the role of an umpire who listen to the arguments of public prosecutor, defense lawyer, statement of witness, statement by the police, FIR and other documents, and he has to deliver the judgment. So that is what we have seen in the case which we discussed in the previous class. Now let us understand what is the role of police in investigating crime. An important function of police is to investigate any complaint about the commission of a crime. An investigation includes recording of statement of witness and collecting different kinds of evidence. On the basis of investigation, the police are required to form an opinion. If police think that evidence points to guilt of an accused person, then they file a charge sheet in the court. As stated at the beginning of this chapter, it is not the job of police to decide whether the person is guilty or innocent, but that is for the judge to decide. So most of the time I explained you, most of the time in the society, there's a false feeling that if a person is arrested by the police, we conclude he is involved in the crime or a criminal. But in reality, that is not the fact because police cannot decide a person guilty or innocent. It is the court decides, I told you, after listening to the arguments put forward by both the lawyers and recording the statement of witness. You read in Unit 2 about the rule of law. Rule of law means all are equal before law, which means that everyone is subject to the land law of the land. This includes the police. Therefore, police investigation always have to be conducted in accordance with the law and with full respect for human rights. The Supreme Court has laid down the guidance that police must follow at all the times of arrest, detention, and interrogation. So, when a police is involved in arrest or interrogation or detention of a personality or an accused, the Court should follow the guidelines. Oh, sorry, the court should police should follow the guidelines laid by the Supreme Court of India. The police are not allowed to torture or beat or shout anyone during the investigation. But you may observe in the movies and all, police punish very badly the accused or arrested person. They shout very badly. They use unparliamentary language. But according to the Supreme Court of India, shouting or unparliamentary language cannot be used against accused. They cannot inflict any form of punishment or a person even for a petty offences. So what Article 22 of Indian Constitution says? The Article 22 of Indian Constitution and the criminal law guarantees every arrested person following fundamental rights. So this is very important. Every person arrested by the police enjoys the following fundamental rights. First, the right to be informed at the time of arrest of the offences for which the person is being arrested. What is this point is all about? Means if the police is arresting a person, that is the time the person should know for what reason he is arrested by the police. That is the reason should be told. Arrest warrant, that is what we call it, arrest warrant. So here in the previous case what we discussed, Shanti was told that she is arrested under the charges of stealing the chain from the her owner. So the person should be told for what reason he or she is being arrested. Second, the right to be presented before the magistrate within 24 hours of arrest. This is called writ of habeas corpus. What is writ of habeas corpus means? Every person who is arrested by the police should be produced before the magistrate within 24 hours of the arrest. That is what we just said, that right the right of the to be it is a right he should be presented before the magistrate within 24 hours of the arrest. Then the right not to be ill treated or tortured during arrest or custody. It is very important. A person should not be ill treated or tortured during the arrest in custody. What is the term custody means? You may be observed in the movies or in the police station, a small cell inside the police station is called as police custody. So when the person is under police custody or under the control of police, he should not be ill treated or tortured. Next one, confessions made in police custody cannot be used as evidences against accused. This point is very important. Confessions made by the police, made in police custody. Take for example, if the police are beating and a person says he has done the crime and he agrees for that, even though he is not done because he is unable to bear the pain. But this confession or what he agreed in the police custody because of some external pressure that cannot be used in the court of law as an evidence. A boy under 15 years of age and women cannot be called to the police station only for questioning. It's very important. If a woman is arrested, a lady constable should be there, or children below the age of 15 and women, they cannot be called only for the purpose of questioning. Means they cannot call the purpose of questioning and leave. In case of there is an accusation, then they should be arrested, but with the proper precaution of a lady officer. So the Supreme Court of India laid down specific requirement and procedure that the police and other agency has to follow for the arrest, detention and interrogation of any person. These are known as DK Basu's guidelines, and some of these include the police official who carry out arrest or interrogation should wear clear, accurate, and visible identification and the name tags with their designation. So, if the police is coming and arresting a person, then his identity should be disclosed. That means he should wear uniform, his identification like name tags or his identity card should be there with the designation. But these are all sometimes not followed because in case if police feel that their identity may help the criminal to escape. In such cases, they may not follow this. Second, a memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of arrest and should include the time and date of arrest. It should also be attested by at least one witness who could include a family member of a person arrested. The arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested. So once a person is arrested, it is the duty of the police to inform his or her close relatives or the friends so that they can arrange for a bail or further proceedings. The arrested or detained being interrogated has a right to inform relatives of the friends or well-wishers. When a friend or a relative lives outside the district at time or place of the arrest and the venue of custody, must be notified by the police within the 8 to 12 hours of his or her arrest. So these are all the rights of a person who is an accused, but still he gets a right, certain rights. Okay, compare this with the Santish case. Here what happened, when Shanti was arrested for the theft, SI Rao also kept her brother Sushil in the police lockup for 2 days. Was it legal for the police to detain him? Does it violate the DK Basu's guidelines? Did S.I. Rao do enough questions, witness, and compile evidence before arresting Shanti and filing case against her? In keeping with the duties of police as stated above, what else you can think S.I. Rao could have done as a part of this investigation? Now let us take slightly different scenario. Shanti and her brother Sushil go to the police station, complain that Mrs. Sinde 20-year-old son had stolen rupees 15,000 that they had been saving up. Do you think the officer in charge of the police station would promptly lodge FIR? List few factors that, in your opinion, may influence the decision of police to register or not to register an affair. So these are the questions you have to answer. It is understood that S.I. Rao done a very faulty investigation because he just assumed whatever the Mr. and Mrs. Sinde told and arrested Shanti. Not only arrested Shanti, he also arrested her brother and violated the rules by beating Sushil very badly, kept him under custody. It is illegal. Not taken the statement of witness in a proper order. That is also against the order of the court. So here what played a crucial role is money or the condition of Mr. and Mrs. Sindhu. Shanti being a poor maid, she was not given the right by the police officer under Article 22 of Indian Constitution. A clear-cut violation of the right which is mentioned in the Article 22 of Indian Constitution. What is the role of a public prosecutor? A criminal offense is regarded as public wrong. What is meant by this is that it is considered to have been committed not only against the affected victims but against the society as a whole. Do you remember the case of dowry death of Sudha, the Sudha Goyal's case? We read in the previous chapter. The case against accused Lakshman and his family presented by the state. That is why the case is called State versus Lakshman Kumar and others. Similarly, the above case called as State versus Shanti and not Mrs. Sinde versus Shanti. Now, why it is called as state here? Because when you complain, then naturally it is the work of the police department to take care of such cases. So since it is the police department take care of case, the police cases are always argued by the public prosecutor or the government lawyers. That's why it is always said that state versus so and so. In the court, it is the public prosecutor who present the interests of the state. The role of prosecutor begins once the police has conducted investigation and filled the charge sheet in the court. Filed the charge sheet in the court. He or she has no role to play in the investigation. The prosecutor must conduct prosecution on behalf of the state. An officer of the court, it is his or her duty to act impartially and present the full and material fact, witness, and evidences before the court to enable the court to decide the case. So here what happened? What is the role of a public prosecutor? So public prosecutor should try the level best to argue the case on behalf of the government. So what is the role of a judge? Role of a judge is just like a umpire in a game and conduct a trial impartially in an open court. Now, what is open court and what is closed court? Open court means a place where audience are allowed or the relatives of the accused are allowed to present, lawyers are there, Judges will be there. In a closed court, it is one-to-one argument where the public they are not allowed to be present. Closed court generally done in case of sensitive cases. If the police feel that bringing an accused to the open court there is a problem or there is maybe a threat to his life, in such a case a judge decide for the closed court. Mostly it is an open court. The judge decide whether the accused person is guilty or not on the basis of evidences, and then judge pronounces the judgment or sentence. He may send the person to jail or impose him fine or both, depending on the law prescribed by the IPC, Indian Penal Code. Okay. Thank you.